All right. Ah, okay. Yep, I did have it muted. Um, yeah. So sorry about that. I now have it unmuted, so everything hopefully is good. Yeah, the sound went off after right. Um, okay, cool. I think that we're good to go. Yeah, I might set up a let me get a Jitsi page or a whereby page um, going, and I'll share that in the chat, and we can all join, and we can talk as we code. Uh, Here's a whereby page for us to all talk together. There we go. Um, oh, look he's back there. You can see her right back there. Very cute. Okay. Let me know if the sound is now very low. Okay, let me bring that up. How is that? How is that for sound? Um, yes, I did make the Liquid Chat app. And what I was saying before I unmuted myself is I think that this isn't the first solid social app. I think that there are other solid social apps that used to be ex- in existence. Elf Pavlik, do you remember? There was something called Darcy. I think it was called Darcy. Okay, cool. Sounds better. Yeah, sorry. The delay with the chat is there's a little bit of delay with the chat, so you're going to um, it might be a couple seconds before I'm actually able to respond to things. But yeah, I placed a whereby chat inside of the Solid Hackathon chat, so you can join that if you want to, and we can talk through things and all of that stuff. But in lieu of that, let's go ahead and swap on over to my desktop and I'll just start coding. So, as mentioned in the title, for this hackathon, I want to do just a very simple version of TikTok because you might have seen in the news that there are discussions of TikTok getting banned. There were discussions of TikTok getting banned in the past, but they never went anywhere. Well, it's back. And is being talked about in the U.S. Congress for maybe some nefarious reasons, but no matter what the reasons for it is, it's on the threat of getting banned. So, hey, let's build a replacement. You got to take the opportunity to do it. So, because of that, this is going to be a React application. Or sorry, a React Native application because this is going to be a mobile app first. So we're going mobile first on this. And that means that we are using React Native. I'm probably going to be using React Native Expo. For those of you who are planning on using LDO for the hackathon, you can use... hey, Elf Pavlik joined the chat. Hey, how's it going, Elf Pavlik? Can I hear you, and can other people hear you? Let's see. I can't hear you. Hey, I can.
Have this and the video together.
Yeah. I'm wondering. Could you say something again? I just want to see the audio levels for broadcasting your voice to the video. Elf Public?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I'm here, Jackson.
Okay,
Good
I
to
think
hear. I'm a bit like, because there's a little delay on YouTube. I think
Yeah.
YouTube is still behind, so that's confusing.
yeah, it's like I guess you could just mute the YouTube and then go off of this chat here. You'll be a little bit ahead. So Cloudy Mindy's I guess 12 Cloudy Mindy 12. You're saying what chat? There was a solid. Are you in the Getter? And if you're in the Getter, there's a solid hackathon room. And that room I pasted the chat in. But hey, this is probably a small enough event that I could probably just paste it inside of the YouTube chat for your convenience. Let me see. How do I chat in the YouTube chat? Should I just go to the? I guess I could just.
I just pasted it, Jack.
Oh, you did? Okay, awesome. Thanks, Pavlik.
Yeah.
Very good. Cool, yeah. Welcome to the Hangout. Pavlik, are you working on something right now?
I'm still finishing the demo app from Site.js, the Vujectron with LDO, and start planning the one I want to do for the hackathon, the one about plenary weeklies, community group plenary meetings. Well, I haven't started on this one yet. I still want to get the example of LDO with the Vujectron first. So I'll probably start with small delay.
Got it. So this is I guess a good time as ever to get started if you want to, or if you just want to hang, that's also good. Right now I'm just selecting which of my mini orgs I want to put this in. I guess I'll put it in development. And I own a domain name for this. I've been squatting on this domain name for a while and haven't done anything with it. It's swipe.io, swipe spelled SWYPE.io. It's sort of like you're swiping, you're scrolling up. So might as well use that domain name now. So I will create something called Swipe Client. The client for swipe.io, the solid TikTok replacement. Very good. I'll make it public, and we'll create a repository. Woo. Okay. Let me go in here and clone this. Oh wait, actually I don't want to clone it first. First, we are initializing an Expo app, which I forget how to do, so I will go here to get the commands. All right, it is create Expo app, but I think that there was a special thing I need to do for Expo app TypeScript. Very good. Cloudy Mindy XII says, app, I'd like to use it. Well, let's hope that you'll be able to use it. Oh, someone is trying to join. Change room size to large. Okay, so I need to update Jitsi to let you join. And we'll reload it. Okay. So if someone was trying to join before, sorry, my room size was not the right size. So I have changed the room size so that you can join the chat. Cool. So I am now going to create an Expo app that uses the TypeScript template. And we will call it Swipe. So this is going to, actually, I should make this bigger for everyone to see. Okay, let's see. Could not determine run. Really? Okay, so npx does work. Oh wait, I did. Oh, okay. I ran the command wrong. So what are you doing right now, Falco? And Theo, thanks for joining.
Nothing, just
Hello.
chilling. Curious, how are you going to do the live coding? Hopefully the gods are merciful today.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't blame anyone if they want to like jump out when I start encountering bugs, and I'm just like, oh, why is this not working at all? Oh no, I gotta go in and look at that. It's certainly not like I'm gaming or something, so probably not necessarily the greatest venue for live coding, but I feel like it's a good hangout opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Nice.
Do you have plan for how long are you planning to stream it?
I guess just as long as I have stamina, or I don't necessarily have plans. I don't have anything to do for the rest of the day, so I will it will ebb and flow. We'll go with the flow.
That sounds good. I'll do my best to stick around.
Yeah, no worries. How's it going, Theo?
Great, and you?
Doing great. Are you playing? Are you? Did you join the Solid Hack Hackathon?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've completed the form,
Nice.
and yeah, I'm not gonna stay long because it's very late here
Yeah,
in France.
not the greatest time for people in the European time zones, which I acknowledge is probably most of the people working on Solid. But this is just like, I guess, something I'm doing after work. So
Yeah, of course. But I had a question for you.
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, because I was just trying the LDO library, and yeah, I just got this weird bug, and then I just got a notification that you were going live, so I was just like, oh, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I was just going through the tutorial, the one LDO React.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just to the part where I add the use solid auth.
Right.
And when I open it in my browser, go to localhost 3000.
Mm-hmm.
It directly redirects me to my pod provider, which was very odd, and I didn't click any button. It was like an automatic redirect, and so I had to open like a private Windows to be able to click the login button, to select an IDP and click OK and get redirected to the IDP I redirected.
Okay.
So I was wondering where.
You were wondering where what?
Where could this bug come from?
Okay, so to confirm the bug that you're looking at, you're having is it doing the redirect as soon as you load the application, or when you press the button that triggers the login function?
No, as soon as I go to the localhost webpage.
Cool. Okay, yeah. I have a few ideas of what it might be. Pavlik says, I think you had a session of local storage from something you used on the same port. That might be a good point, Pavlik.
Yes, might be that, yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, like if you've already been developing apps in Solid and there is already a session that exists, then it would automatically try to log you in. So does the same thing happen when you're in a private window?
No, it doesn't. And I think I use localhost 3000 with the pod inspector.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I use the same address for other Solid app. So it's probably this.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
But I was not able to change the port. I think on with npm run.
Yeah.
-p.
So if you're So you generated you used create React app, right? So that has
Yeah.
React scripts. So there is a way to change ports for React scripts.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think it's just dash port.
Yeah. Or here it's saying that you're going to want to set the environment variable for port before. So depending on your platform, you do that, and then React script starts. So you can update your script here to have a different port. And that might make it a little bit easier to develop different apps because they'll all be on different ports.
And so this is just a bug you get as a developer, right? Because then you're
right. You know, actually, if it were something that happened for non-developers, then it might actually be good, because this idea that you could be automatically logged into any solid app as the last thing I logged into kind of sounds convenient. And it would probably have some a lot of security implications behind it, but just from a complete user experience perspective, it sounds convenient.
Yeah. I mean, it could be also a bit annoying if you want to log in with another pod providers, and but yeah, also very magical and handy maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that Public has it right. Sounds like you just have another app that's on the same port. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, I think like Penny, which is also like very popular solid app, is using like the same port. So maybe other developers will encounter the same redirect.
If you're building multiple apps.
Yeah, I mean, because I got this bug because I've used Pepemi in another, like previously, that is on localhost 3000 by default. So yeah, I'm just wondering that other developer might have encountered the same issue. So yeah, what could be like a good way would be to remove like session storage, or maybe use like a different default port for the example.
I think that like from in terms of updating the dev tools, I think that it should be there we go. I think that in terms of updating the dev tools, it feels like that we don't need to necessarily update them. Maybe there's something to document there, but just knowing that you should run it on a different port sounds like the right thing to do. Unless you have a suggestion of something explicitly we should update.
No, not really.
Yeah. I think that just updating your port sounds good then. Yeah.
I think in long term we could look into having something with maybe like mkcert generating certificates for local host, and something like .local, that you could actually have a like local DNS with certs, and then have every app you develop on a different like a local domain with its own certificate. I think that would make things easier than just dealing with ports.
It would also provide a little bit of extra security, because there is one thing to say is that LDO is not designed for you to host multiple applications on one domain name, which I know is something that could happen, like with the GitHub.io domain name. That is like I might have a lot of things on GitHub pages, and they're all under GitHub.io. Although I think that the subdomains will, I think that it will differentiate between the subdomains. But anyway, we don't want to be in a situation where, like, let's say I've got 50 different applications on the same domain name, and then I have, and one application is able to essentially hijack the session of another application just because it's at a different path. And if there were two applications that use LDO, then that would happen. In fact, this is the reason why Inrupt's auth library doesn't let you do this by default. But LDO has some extra code in there that lets you do this by default for UX reasons. But Pavlik, your proposal with the certs would prevent that problem.
I think it's nice for the future, but now I think you just have to deal with the ports and somehow live with that.
Yeah. Let's see, what node version am I using? 16? Yeah, that sounds right. Cool. Okay, so yeah. For now, you got to deal with the ports. But thanks so much for coming in and asking the questions. And I'm available if there's any other questions that you want to ask, Theo. I'm also looking forward to your project.
Yeah, I'm also. I think it's. I really like the TikTok clone idea.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully I didn't take it from anyone. It seems like a relatively obvious idea, but hopefully I'm not stepping on anyone's toes. Hey, but actually, you know what? If I am stepping on someone's toes, that might be beneficial, because one of the requirements for judging is that there are interoperable apps. And I'm planning on using ActivityPub for building my TikTok app. So if someone else wanted to build a TikTok app and they were they ended up being interoperable, then that's points in the hackathon. So you know what? I'm not bad if I don't feel bad if I'm stepping on someone else's toes. So feel free to make a TikTok app or any other kind of app.
That's the beauty of Solid. You don't have to compete in a way. You can just interop and let people choose what they like to use.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so throughout this conversation, I've been setting up. I just set up a linter just so that all my code looks nice, and I got it working in React Native Web. I'll do all of my development in React Native Web just because it's easier. I don't need to be running an emulator at the same time I'm streaming, which I am concerned is going to be a little bit too much. Let's go for an iPhone 11 as the app we're working on. Cool. So I've got the React Native app online as a blank thing, and we will go from there. Cool. And Theo, are you planning on doing some work here or just hanging?
No, I think I'll go to sleep pretty soon.
Yeah. What time is it in France?
It's midnight.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Have a good sleep then.
But yeah, looking forward for this app. I think I will. I think I found an idea maybe to make like some kind of instructable, like shape for instructable website. You know.
An instructable website?
Yeah, it's a website where you share a lot of tutorials on how to build stuff, like for like kind of a maker community website.
Yeah, this is very cool. So so it would be that like you'll create a shape for the instructions that you follow to this?
Yeah, exactly, and and also like the required supply, the list, the bill of materials in a way.
Wow.
And yeah, the idea was from a residency I did in a Fab Lab,
Mm-hmm.
and the Fab Lab has own website with their own tutorials, because it was kind of making sense, because it was like connected with their other Fab Lab stuff, like event and stuff, and they could like link all that together. So they need like to have their tutorials on their own websites.
Yeah. I remember there was I was talking.
Those kind.
Sounds like a DIY
Yeah.
version of like Wiki Factory, which also posts.
Oh, I don't know this one.
Yeah, but this one's more professional. It's sort of like was it Wiki Factory? Actually, it might not be Wiki Factory. It might be. There was something. There was something else that was for like manufactured items.
Thingiverse?
No, that's like for 3D printed items, right?
Yeah.
Thingiverse. Yeah, I'm not sure what I remember, but I think that's a really good idea.
Well, the thing is just there's a lot of websites that has those instruction kind of page, and I think it would be nice to have a way to make them interoperable. So, yeah, where you want to build something, you can kind of mix multiple, find different resources and do some smart thing on like the bill of materials. Maybe search by materials rather than project or stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like a great idea. Right, I am going to npx at LDO/CLI.
What technologies are you planning to use for your project? What kind of stack? Besides Shapes and LDO, like some kind of front-end net framework, or how you imagine to do that?
I have no idea. I just got the idea like not long ago. I don't know. Probably some React front end.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially that LDO is like working really well because it has also the LDO React package. So I think if you don't have other preference, that's probably like the safest choice.
Yeah. Who was it that? So you were thinking of doing some stuff with Vue, maybe, or LDO, right? Public.
Yeah, so that's the kind of, we have the Vue.js demo app inside JS. So like we started like adding LDO to it, and I hope tomorrow we have it like mostly done, and then we can start on the one for the hackathon.
Wow, that would be pretty cool. I would love to see. I'd love to see the stuff that you've got going for Vue. And in fact, if it's good, then I'd be happy to include it inside the mono repo for LDO.
Totally, we'll be looking into that. So we still currently we've been using Pina, but possibly we'll drop Pina and just use something similar to what you do with the solid. We would use solid LDO and just write something similar that you do for the React. So I don't think we would have to use Pina. We still need to see how to hook it up with the reactivity in Vue, which is also proxy based. So yeah, tomorrow I hope we make some progress and then we can move to a second app. So if there's something we can extract by the end of the hackathon, we hope to have something that could be used in 2 apps at the same time.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Okay, so what I've just experienced is apparently on line 32 there is a problem with the activity pubs shape that I posted, which looks like it is these double quotes here I accidentally included. So the official activity pub shape that I uploaded is not a compliant shape, so I'm gonna have to fix that and then upload that back to the main hackathon website. Oh, on line 71 too. Yeah, but oh man, all these double slashes, escape keys. But yeah, Elf Public, are you able to? You say that you're almost done with the Vue stuff?
Well, we hope, unless we find another kind of showstopper tomorrow. So tomorrow we plan to, with a friend I've been working on very often online, we plan to do some more coding, and so I will know better tomorrow.
Got it. So
we hope we can start the hackathon project like very soon.
yeah, you don't want to show it here right now.
No, I've just been working before you started the show, so I have it like in the middle, kind of. It's not. I mean, it's building already, but it's breaking a little bit. So maybe if we do another live stream, I can present something like in a few days.
Yeah, I think that I might like. I'm not expecting a large attendance for these, but I think that I might for the next couple weeks, as I'm building this app, do intermittent live streams. Maybe like on Friday or something. I'll be sure to post before I'm doing it.
And Pavlik, what's your project for the hackathon?
So for the hackathon, I can drop you a link here, maybe in the YouTube chat. Why not? So we have the community group meetings every week, and we use at this moment the HackMD for taking notes and also like who's present, who's scribing, and so on. So I was thinking to make a little app that would be an assistant app. For now, not deal with the scribing because it's all this real-time co-editing and stuff, but at least that we can note who's the chair, who's the scribe, who's present, absent. Maybe if there are guests, like this kind of very basic thing. And there are a few interesting access control aspects because I would like that you can be very granular to say who can add themselves as an attendee, but maybe only the chair of the meeting has permission to designate someone as a scribe who volunteered. So it's also about playing with some more interesting ways of managing access.
Nice. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Sounds like some good dog fooding.
Dog fooding?
So that's the plan, like eat your own dog food.
That's the dog fooding's the term for like using if you're developing software, then you should be using the software you're developing in your day-to-day life.
Yes.
So right now I'm just going in. I fixed my check shape, so I'm going in and replacing it in the main website so that anyone else who downloads the ActivityPub check shape doesn't have any problems with it. Good. Yeah. No one said that this was a very professionally put on hackathon, but I'm glad everyone's here anyway. I'm glad I caught this early too.
All for me today.
Sorry?
I think that will be all for me today.
All right. See ya, Theo.
But yeah, we'll keep in touch in the next day.
Yeah, and feel free.
See you tomorrow at the CG plenary.
Not sure. We'll see.
What's on the schedule at the CG plenary?
Good question. Actually,
right.
Michiel wants to talk about multi-app, multi-agent. Take care, Theo. Keep in touch on the Matrix chat. So Michiel proposed topic to talk about this multi-app, multi-agent use cases in Solid, and especially how the proposed working group would be trying to address those use cases. So that's one of the topics for tomorrow.
Okay, is that like interoperability between multiple apps, or is that around authentication, delegation between apps?
It's not very specific to one aspect, but pretty much the way I understand, he tries to compare, for example, like running Solid OS, like one app trying to do everything, and then mostly working maybe with your own pod, and then when different people collaborate on the same data using different apps, which I think it's like the for me the most fundamental part of Solid. Like you said, you can have your TikTok kind of
Uh-huh.
like application, and I have mine, and they can be different, and we still, it's like with emails or with matrix chat of IRC, that it doesn't matter what client you use, you can still interact. So I think that's the second thing, and the other also this aspect of having this more multi-agent environment, because many of the apps don't seem like that social, especially if you rely on something that people publish their social graph in the public web ID profile or something like that. And I think that's not necessarily privacy aware. Like Sci has its own way of doing social agent registrations and all this kind of more private way of connecting the social agents, and also working for organizations like organizational kind of collaboration spaces. So I think that's more of a how to build things in this more diverse ecosystem, which is not necessarily focused on the user and their pod with their data, but more, the whole social graph aspect of it.
Sounds like it's going to be I guess, a very general meeting then. How are the CG meetings going?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, many people are systematic. Some people are joining just occasionally, but for me, I lack space where we can really dive into this specific topic. So for that, I've proposed some time ago, probably like already 2-3 months ago, to do the special topic meetings. And for now, we have them scheduled on Tuesdays or at 14 UTC, 1400 UTC. And those meetings supposed to be for 2 hours if needed, and that we just pick a specific topic and try to dive deeper into that and make some progress. But especially with those, the participation was often 2 or 3 people just showing up, and yeah, like it's hard to have continuity and actually make progress on issues.
Right.
So my concern a little bit is that it's hard to actually get the things kind of resolved and answered, and instead of just having more questions popping up.
Yeah. I would like to join some more meetings like that, but sometimes it's mostly like I would want to have the capacity to start doing spec stuff again, which I haven't had for a while.
So the Friday meetings are pretty good that Mikhail started, and we both are joining on Fridays now. I think they're
Yeah, the
quite interesting, and also UX DX. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the one that I go to. What is this problem? We're into the error problem, the error solving. href attribute on a illegal character fragment octothorpe is not found. All I did was change this to activity pub.checks. Did I? Right? 2 minutes ago I did this.
I think you have 2 hashes there, or it's no problem to have 2 hashes.
2 hashes.
Like in the error message, I think there's 2 fragments in the IRI.
Oh, yeah.
Or is it normal?
Interesting.
I think that's the getter. Well, hold on.
Yeah, that is the getter. I don't think I touched that, though. So it's weird that it's not doing the Jekyll build right now. Yeah, on line 107.
But look, the line, yeah.
Did I make a typo? No, the last time I committed this was on Friday. Bad value. The attribute href on element has an illegal character in fragment. Octothorpe is not allowed. Okay, so it doesn't like this octothorpe. If I didn't include this octothorpe, would it work? Like, with this, nope, that, it did not like that. So you do need to have the octothorpe for it to load up. Kind of weird that it's having a problem right now. Let's just try rerunning the job, see if it still complains. Ah, the fun of live coding. Nope, still. Attribute href, the element A is a legal character. What are the things that I changed?
Just take a look at the diff.
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's see. Okay,
Let me see the last commit. I can also open it.
All seems fine. Yeah, this is merging things in. These are just typos that were fixed. This says fixed broken link, but that's not necessarily the problem. That's merging. Here's your pull request for Sci.js. Yes, Aylin, Sci.js. Okay, this is all just the activity pub stuff. Added info from Friday's meeting, and then oh wait, but this interesting. Okay, this failed. It still failed. Oh, okay. Well, have they all been failing? So the commit that I made all the way like a week ago, apparently it failed with ci.yaml. But has the site just been up despite that?
Yeah, and I think it had all the changes. At least the one I submitted as a pull request, it shows up on the website.
Okay, did I spell? Right, so Michiel's corrections of me misspelling the word receive, which I noticed that I have done again right here, have shown up. But I did spell it wrong again here. Pretty butchered it as well. Okay, so I guess it's just failing the build, but it's still pushing everything, which... Who said that we were a professional hackathon? It's fine. I won't spend too much time on that. Spelling error. I mean, I'm pushing to master. Very good. Okay. Well, I think that's fine. Activity pub. This is a new document, and I will open this with, I will open activity pub with text edit, and this shouldn't contain the double slashes.
Yeah, so
it doesn't.
It seems the problem is with the matrix getter IRI. It has two hashes, so it's, I think after fragment you cannot have, so I think it's illegal IRI, but that's actually matrix.
Yeah.
I believe not using IRIs properly.
So it seems like that generally fails, but it just it causes an error which fails the build, but it still it propagates to solidhack.org. So I think that it seems to be working fine, I guess. Working as not intended, but it works. Okay, so that was a little bit of a detour. Now I am going back to developing. Okay, so what I have is I have my shapes. I have my profile. I will eventually build the UI for this, but first I want to just plan out how ActivityPub is going to work with this. So probably the best thing to do is I'll just open PowerPoint and plan that. Or maybe I should use a program that's actually designed for planning. Lucid Chart. Have I not logged into Lucid Chart on this computer? It's a new computer. Why is the login button not working? There we go.
Where did you get the ActivityPub shape? Did you write it?
I
yourself,
wrote
or
it
was
myself.
something-
I just looked at the ActivityPub documentation and wrote it. So there might be errors in it. It's not the official ActivityPub check shape. As far as I can tell, there's not an official ActivityPub check shape. But yeah, I just looked at ActivityPub and wrote it. I created that shape a while ago too. Okay. All right. So we have. So to build a. To build TikTok, what you need is sort of like some posts, and you've got a stream of posts, and a post has a. It's got like. Media that's associated with it. Actually, that would be the predicate. It's got some media, which is some. It has some URI on it, and it has. What else does a post have? It has like a creator, someone who created it, which is a web ID. And we could implement features like liking things and sharing things, but for this hackathon, we want to keep it really simple. So is that it? Does a post just have a web ID and some media on it? Does it need anything else?
Does it have any title or a caption? I haven't used TikTok, so I don't know. If
Yeah, I must admit, I am not a huge user of TikTok either. I used to make TikToks talking about Solid, but those were more like, I also uploaded them to YouTube Shorts.
Absolutely nothing.
Is that so?
Okay, TikTok is playing automatically. Let me see if my old TikTok account still exists. Two objects, we got 2 cones. Love those captchas. Hey, I've got people who have commented on things and liked my things from the last time I had TikTok. Okay, so the actual TikTok has it looks like it's got a description to it that allows you to have hashtags. You can like it. They've got comments. They've got, you can bookmark it and you can share it. And then you can follow people. Oh, you know what? Probably following a person would be a good idea. That's a feature. Because for this simple TikTok app, I don't want to program a full recommendation algorithm. So it should just surface things to people that you follow. So perhaps a person has a follow list, which has a one-to-many to a web ID? Maybe not. Maybe it's like a outbox. ActivityPub has the concept of outbox, right? Something like that. It's been a while since I
think
made
there's
this
also
shape.
some follow list.
Yeah, is there?
Can you check the activity
Okay.
pub shape or vocab. There's something like follow.
Yeah,
if you
there's
search for follow, there must be something there.
It has a follow type. So I can have a follow. And then is there like a list of follows that I can have? There's a follow type. And then, yeah, let me go straight to the horse's mouth and go to the activity pub.
It has followers collection and following collection in collections.
Cool. Which spec are you looking at for that?
Activity pub.
Is it this page? Oh, wait. Yeah, there's a delay in the video. So
I'll drop a link here on YouTube.
Yeah, followers collection. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then a following collection. Okay, that sounds good. So yeah, we will use that. Although, it's basically an ordered collection or a collection that has an actor should have a follower collection, a list of everyone who has sent a follow activity to the actor. Okay.
So I guess you just do the following, no? Because
Yeah.
followers you would have to have some kind of pingback mechanism, and
Yeah.
probably I don't know if that's what you want to deal with now.
It's something to implement it in the future, but yeah, we just need a following collection, which is just a collection, which we have in the activity pub type. We have a collection. Okay. Oh, there are a lot of collections. Okay, so we have, okay, so follow collection. And does it define, so the follow collection is a list of everybody that the actor has followed. So this is a list of actors specifically, right? So that's an activity pub object. Let me go to the shape. So there is an actor object.
Have you seen the announcement about Fedi Forum, which is happening today, tomorrow, I believe?
No, what's that?
Someone announced it on a specification channel. I just dropped it here on YouTube. But it seems like also some kind of online event. No, actually it's unconference. So it's offline and online as well.
There is
Someone
no...
was inviting if someone wants to jump in.
Fedi Forum.
So I have the impression that it's not the name of the like class or type. I think there's a predicate like following. You see, the following have a following collection. The following it's in the red, so maybe this is a predicate that actually links you just to like untyped ordered collection.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So when I built this activity pub shape, it was off of, is it the activity vocabulary? Okay, yeah, I think that this is the page. So there is a follow, so it's a type follow, okay. But how do I, so what's the actual vocab for the following collection? Okay, somewhere that's a type follow. Wait, is this a following collection? Sammy and Sally's relation. Assuming a request. Assuming a friend request is accepted, the remaining steps in this common application scenario can be represented by a set of distinct activities. Sally followed John. John added Sally to his friends list. Sally added John to her friends list. Okay, I don't think that this isn't necessarily the this is like the actions that are happening. So what does it say? Activity pub spec. What does it say about the following collection may be added as every actor should have, but what is the predicate associated with it for its following collection? A follow activity is used to subscribe to an actor. The side effect of this is an outbox. Of this in and outbox is that the server should add the object to the actor's following collection when and only if the accept activity is received to this follow. Okay. It doesn't seem to define a predicate for the following collection. So I guess this will just be a collection that exists somewhere. And the question then is, how do we... So I've got a following collection. This exists somewhere on the server. It points to actor, but actor isn't a type. So a collection itself points to so a collection has total items, it has current, first, last, and items. Okay, so that's just a collection which links to an activity pub object. Could be anything. But specifically, is there an actor? You know, activity pub, as the ontology is defined, seems to be a little bit loosey-goosey. This is the vocabulary, right? Yeah, so a vocabulary is a collection, and then anything can go into items. Does RDF have a concept of generics? Can you have like a generic collection, like a collection of things that aren't just objects, something more specific? I guess not. So what would be the most appropriate item for this followers list? Activity, collection. I can't believe there's not an actor. So these are activity types. That's fine. So all of these are the activity types. Object and link types, audio, document, event, image, note, page, place. Profile. Profile would be the right one. Okay, so this seems to be occupying the same space as, say, the solid profile does. Would it be bad if I just made this followers collection a collection of web IDs? Probably would be bad. That wouldn't be very interoperable. So a profile is an object that contains a content object that describes another object, typically used to describe an actor type. Wait, it does have an actor type. Oh, cool. Perfect. So person. A person has I guess name. What does person have in here? A person has it's just a person. That is an object type. And that has a name. Okay? All right. And then we have a okay, so actor type isn't an actual type in ActivityPub. There is a category of things, but it doesn't have in the activity stream's context something called actor. Or let me confirm that. Because it would be real nice if it did. Zoom! Cat just zoomed out. Okay, this just linked to the same page. Oh, it does. Okay. Actor. Okay. So this describes one or more entities that oh, okay, wait. Got it. Actor is there a type that is actor? Not a property that is actor. Like actor with a capital match case. Wait, this is just the same document. Meow meow. Okay, so I guess you just have to know that a person, an organization, a group, and an application are actors. So we'll just say person. Everything's a person. Everyone who's publishing something is a person. Hopefully I don't get completely castigated for not implementing ActivityPub correctly. Oh. I wondered why Elf Pavlik wasn't talking. I was using the free whereby. Oh yeah. You say the whereby room expired a few minutes ago. Yeah. Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll check the Matrix chat. Yeah. Okay, so Elf Pavlik got this here. The definition of a person. Yeah. So that didn't seem to link to the right place. Let me try that again. Just use Jitsies? Yeah, I guess I'll set up a Jitsi. Setting up the Jitsi now. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that, Elf Pavlik. Got a little tunnel vision there.
No worries.
Sorry about that. So yeah, you linked this definition of a person here, right?
Yeah, it seems there is no parent class like
Parent
actor
class for
or
actor,
agent,
yeah.
because it says extends object, so it seems the object is the kind of generic parent class, which is a bit inconvenient because you could follow groups, organizations, and people. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's.
So I guess we'll just say everyone's a person. Sure. Why not? So we'll have a follow list, and that is a collection of person. So we got like person and person. So
Yeah, I think that's the easiest approach to do now, since you have it in a shape, and later you can think how to generalize it.
yeah. And then each person needs to point to posts somehow, the kinds of the posts that they make. So what is the most appropriate way to do that? So a person extends an object which has the properties audience, probably content, that would make sense. Or maybe published, duration. Okay, let's check out content. So content, or textual representation of an object encoded as a JSON string. Okay, so that does not sound right. So let's look at published. The date and time of which this object was published? No. Replies, start time, summary tag, updated URL, duration, media type.
Activity pub has outbox, and this one seems to be a property on the actor. Well, that's, I think, activity pub.
Yeah. Does it have a vocab for that?
Good question. Let's see.
Now I'm not surprised that Mastodon isn't compatible with other activity pub things, because it seems like there's a lot up to interpretation. Diving into this.
Yeah, I think. So far, I only see the activity vocabulary, which you are looking at.
Right,
so
yeah.
maybe no one have bothered to add activity pub vocab. Let me see. Actually, I think the namespace of activity stream also returns the JSON-LD context. I think I'll just download this one.
Yeah, you could take a look at the JSON LD context as well. Except I think actually I queried this context. I just copied it and pasted it in, and it just went to the docs. Oh wait. Okay. This might be a little bit more of a concise way to look at things. So a property definition. Former type describes updated units, total items, summary map, start time, start index, rating, radius, published. That's a time. I need something to represent that this actor is the creator of, like just a list of things that they created.
Jackson, so the context has outbox property. It seems like it's just not in the HTML, but if you look at the context, and I just grabbed it, and there's an outbox. It's in activity stream namespace, so it seems like ActivityPub just dropped it in the namespace.
Comprised of messages produced by the actor. Okay. That's interesting. Is this so? Okay, so this is an ordered collection comprised of. So we have an actor. The actor has an outbox. Actor objects. Okay, so there is. Oh, I see. Okay, so this isn't codified. Okay, this actually is helpful. This section here, the 4.1 actor objects. These are all the properties that should be on the actor superclass if that existed, which unfortunately it doesn't. Okay, so these might be good. Proxy URL, endpoint URL. So it's actors clients may access remote activity streams objects. That's not anything I want. Has a preferred username. Liked followers. Following. Hey, this is what we should be using. So to say all of your followers, it has following. So I have an actor, which is me. I am following. And do we have properties mandated by object identifiers, the following properties. Should be unique global identifier. All objects should have unique global identifiers. ActivityPub extends this requirement. All objects distributed by ActivityPub must have unique global identifiers. Okay, unless they are intentionally transient. Okay, so this is just. Okay, it just should have an ID, right? Okay, that makes sense. Right. So it must have the following properties: inbox. And do we have the vocab for what inbox is and what following is?
I think they're just collections. Here it says ordered collection. I'm not sure why it would have to be ordered, but...
Okay, here we go. The following property. Oh man, it's just linking us to here. Like, is this the actual following TR ActivityPub following property? What's the URI of the following property? Oh, it's probably in the context, right?
Yeah, it's the activity streams namespace.
Yeah. Here, let me... Because when I request the context, it just gives me the docs. I probably need application/JSON in order to get it. So.
Yeah, LD plus JSON. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just do a request that lets me change the headers. Accept application/LD plus JSON. Were you able to get the? Oop.
Yep.
Did I do something wrong here? Is this an error page? Oh, it's a 200. This looks like this is...
Yeah, I don't... Understand. I got it. Hold on, let me see. NS activity streams.
NS activity streams, except application. Did I spell application right? LD plus JSON. That's the header.
Is it case sensitive? No, I don't think the header is.
Learning a lot about ActivityPub and learning that my ActivityPub object probably doesn't include a lot of stuff that it should, like the follow or because that wasn't documented in okay here. I might need to rewrite the ActivityPub shape. Here, I'll keep note of this. Activity streams. Oh, no, not there. From, yes. So we've got activity streams terms. Oh, is it because... Okay, so I'm looking at the activity streams. When I wrote these, like, I've got longitude, right? Yeah, I've got latitude and longitude. So when I wrote this... Oh, thanks for the curl. Oh, public. I will... Alright. Guess we'll just take this, put it in a document for me to look at. All right. Yes, so, all right. Is following and then following. Okay. Perfect. Okay, that makes sense. AS colon following. Okay, so it's looking like the first step is I need to do some updating of these shapes to reflect this a little bit more. I did do all of these property definitions, all these activities here. However, I didn't do anything in this extensions category. For example, the ActivityPub extensions. So this is the ActivityPub specification. Why did that open the same thing?
So, do you want to, for the actor, like the person, let's say, to have a public profile and link to all the other people that they follow? Do you want to have just like a public information in their public profile?
I don't know if it should be public, but that shouldn't necessarily matter shape-wise, right? Like the access control wouldn't necessarily matter. Like you could have information about your information about who you follow in a different document from the public profile, right? And the public profile is like, here are the things that I created.
Okay, I see. So you would just include the link to a collection, and so the activity stream collection, it can have its own IRI ID, no? I assume that. Actually, I don't remember how the collection is defined. But is it an object with like elements? Let's see how's the collection.
So the activity stream, the collection can have its own ID, the collection itself. So what we would do is we would say we have an actor. This is public. The actor has posts, like some kind of posts collection. Or I'd need to look into ActivityPub to see exactly what the right thing to call that is. This is also public. This would
the outbox, no? Like it's probably the outbox.
Would that be right? Maybe it
Like
might be
feed,
the outbox
I think.
box. Yeah, that might be correct. So ActivityPub says that we need liked, shares, likes, blah blah blah. Okay, outbox. Of these, outbox seems to be the most appropriate one. What's a stream? Just a list of collections that may be of interest. And then the outbox is all messages produced by the actor. Yeah, that sounds right. So this is the outbox. Which is an ordered collection. Okay. Does ActivityPub does this have any do I have anything as okay? Oh wait, but there's no ActivityPub like capital case actor, which is very annoying. There's a capital case person.
Yeah, but if you want to connect it with WebID, probably you just would use the FOF agent or whatever WebID is using. So I remember you had this demo also of working with FOF profiles.
Yeah.
And again, like there's nothing stopping you to extend the FOF profile and use the activity stream properties on the FOF profile. That's the kind of nice part of link data, that you can mix the vocabs as you wish.
So you're thinking.
So your shape.
That I have. So like let's say I have a follow collection which is linking to a person. That this person should be the FOF profile.
Yeah, I think you already have a FOF profile shape in the hackathon website. So probably I would just suggest you to use that shape and use the same shape. Just add optional property with AS outbox and AS followings, and the app would just modify the FOF profile, and then from there would just create those collections somewhere. Right. and start adding posts there.
Right. So or what I could do is I could just make it so that the object that is the web ID becomes activity streams compatible or ActivityPub compatible, and it just gets all of the stuff that it needs. It becomes also a type person, and it has a follower collection, things like that.
What does LDO do if the data has two types? Like the shape can also have two types. No?
So you manually define in LDO what you are interpreting that type as. So, like when I say using type, you are basically asserting, hey, it's this type in here. So even if it has multiple types, what we care about is just whatever was passed into the using type. So you could have something that has many different types, many different predicates in it, but LDO will ignore everything that's not defined here.
Yeah, so probably you could just use the activity stream person type, but the web ID of a user, and just have it mixed there, that there will be both profile and web ID in the same document. Just your objects will be using different types.
Yeah. Another concern that I have is, let's say I want to keep the people I follow separate from my profile. Like, I don't want that to be public and inside of my profile object. How do I know which document to fetch that from? Like, because this is going to be in a different document than
so you would use the following. Now there is a following predicate, like for the outbox.
Right.
There's the
Right.
outbox
I'm saying
predicate.
like, so. What I'm saying is, now this is me talking about the vocab, but let's talk about the actual files that are here. So I've got my profile file, so that's the web ID, and then inside of this, here, let me just. So we got the web ID, and inside of this, the web ID is public, so you can have things like your name, sure. You can have things. Oh. You can have your image, and you can have a list of like your outbox, and this is a pointer to an actual outbox.
Yeah, and this one you can have access control on it. So some people will get 401 and no 43, and people who have access will be able to get access.
So and then I got it. You're right. So follows will also link to an actual follows. So your outbox will be public, but your follows will not be. So yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Okay. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we have outbox follows. Outbox is going to contain a bunch of activities, like messages, and all of those messages will have the proper things in them. But let's start with my mistake, which was not applying the extended objects, which were defined in one of these. Which one? Did I get rid of it? I believe that we just got it from pasting that in. Yeah. Okay. So these predicates here were never included. So I need to update the activity pub shape to include those under all of the actor types, which is person, organization, all of that stuff.
Well, I think to get started, you probably just need the following and outbox. No? Only those two predicates, and that will get you going. And I mean, eventually it's nice to add all of them, but for the TikTok kind of functionality, probably you can start with those two.
Yeah, but what if someone else in the hackathon is building something and they want to have that in ActivityPub? Okay, at least for now, I'll start with I'll just add an outbox to person. So AS outbox is this is a IRI, and AS follow, was it called following? Yes, is an IRI.
You are in organization, by the way.
Oop. Well, technically, the organization should have it too. But okay. So person has these two things. Perfect. So now a person has that. A web ID should be a person. If a web ID is not a person, then the application will load the web ID, see if it is a person, or if it's not a person, then it will create a outbox and following. So that's what it'll do upon load. Then, okay, let me create just a list of notes for this. Okay, so load the web ID if it is a person, do nothing. If not, create an outbox, create an inbox, or create a following, create and following.
And probably add activity stream type person type, no?
Yeah.
Because it will be just fourth person, I
Right.
guess.
Cool. Okay, so that makes sense. Then, after that, we load the web ID. We load following, and then for each following, we do get the outbox and display the outbox in or. Okay, do I want to have something like? Is there a concept of like this person has already viewed this thing, or what was the date that a person has last viewed a thing? Because we don't want to necessarily have to load up everything that someone is doing.
Yeah, so I guess probably you could generate view activities and just store those view activities, and then check if for given like post or something, if there is a view activity, and then you could consider it viewed.
Yeah, I'm. It doesn't sound super scalable, right? Because but then again, it's a hackathon. Is there a view activity? Yes, there is. Okay, I guess that sounds like the right way to do it. Indicates that an actor has viewed an object. Okay. So, yeah. You're right. It should displays the outbox in get the outbox. So we want to load users view activities. Then we load the users following. For each that we're following, get the outbox. For each message in outbox. If God, this is so. If this is not going to scale, but essentially, if
I would suggest you to do it in steps. Just for now, maybe just show the latest ones, the latest posts from the people that you are following, and later worry about like hiding the ones that you have seen before, because otherwise you will start with the hard problem.
Yeah, I guess what we'll do, we will just like say posts that are a month old or from the last time I opened this app, something like that. That's going to be the cutoff. And I'll just store the last time you opened this app in memory. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, I find it also interested in solid on the containers. Like, I would assume that those collections will be solid containers. I'm not sure if you get any timestamps for the contained elements.
I don't think
Because,
that I'll use solid containers. The collections will be a full activity pub
okay.
thing because the solid containers use LDP vocab, and I want to keep this as activity pub as possible. So
what, then
like they
you just
might,
use, you completely will not use solid containers?
yeah. Well, I mean they'll be put inside containers, but we're going to, but that's just as storage. The actual way that we navigate things and follow our nose is by jumping to the outbox. The outbox itself is a resource that I fetch, and then the
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that contains all the activity pub stuff, and then that points to other things. The actual place that is in the pod doesn't matter.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then, when you create a new new post, you would need to create it and then add it to the outbox as a separate request.
Yes, you would. Which I feel like that's the right way to do things. Again, like we don't need to get into the whole argument over the semantic meanings of containers, but I think it's the wrong way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so for this simple case, we're just going to have like some timestamp, and then for each of the following, for each of the inbox, if it's not, if it's newer, then the timestamp add to like to view collection, and then if it's not newer than the timestamp, then we ignore it. And then we say we'll sort the to view collection. And this will all just be in memory in the application. And then display it. Cool, so that's what it looks like when I load up the app. And then when I want to upload a thing, so that's going to first upload the raw post, then create an object for the post, then we create, and then we add it to the outbox, and I think that's it. So this is creating a new post. This one is loading application slash slash viewing stuff, creating a new post, and then finally we are going to what's like follow. If I want to follow a person, then that button is going to add the person to my follows. But the question is, how do I follow a person in the first place? How do I find them? I guess you could just paste in their web ID. Liquid Chat. When
I'm not sure if activity pub has some kind of hubs that people can join the hub and then it's like a introduction service or something.
Yeah, I could have like a swipe.io pod that just keeps track of the people in it, which is just a collection of actors. So we have find people, And when we find a person, so actually on initial load, so actually these things are done on initial load. Load web ID, blah, 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 all this stuff, and then ask if you want to be added to the public collection of people, and then if so, add them to the public collection, which is just like, I guess, a hard-coded ID for a document that has append-only access to it. That could work.
Yeah.
It means that you can't remove yourself from the public collection. But you know, hey, it's a hackathon app for 2 weeks. Like, we're already getting up to a lot of things that need to be done.
Actually, I've been thinking like how you plan to approach it. If you plan to like start simpler, for example, not do like the timestamps and anything, just show everything in a kind of reverse chronological order. And then when you have this working, start worrying about cutting off the older posts or maybe marking as viewed.
Yeah.
Because if you start with like from top to bottom, I think you may find yourself in some kind of bushes at some point.
Yeah. Although the timestamp limitation, that's not that hard to do. But yeah, that point well taken. I think that at least the MVP doesn't need this right now. We are going to have a very unscalable app, which I don't remember if I included scalability on the judging criteria. I'm not eligible to win anyway, but no, I didn't put scalability in. You know, scalability was in the in-rep hackathon. It was in the in-rep hackathon, but it's not in this one.
So what, did they run some benchmark on lots of auto-generated data? Like how you evaluate that?
Yeah, when I was doing it, when I was judging it, I just kind of thought about how the app worked, and just thought like, okay, if we had thousands of users or something like this, would this scale conceptually? And some of them were successful, some of them weren't. So it was just like, will it conceptually scale? And we can tell very much so that from at least this design that we have going here, this will not scale to thousands or millions of users, because this means that essentially every time I load up the app, I'm going to all of the people I'm following and fetching a list of all the posts that they have. Each person might have thousands of posts. I might be following thousands of people. That's a lot of requests. Now, I'm not loading every post for people, but I am loading the list of every person. So it's a little bit better than loading every post. Still not fantastic.
So to have it like more realistic scenario, I think you would need to have some kind of bots that you connect to your account, and you know, it's your personal recommendation service. They analyze the posts and they kind of curate a list for you, and you have your kind of bot that you configure however you want to configure it.
Right. Yeah, like there should be some kind of interface for you to just say, like a standardized, maybe a REST interface, that anyone can create a recommendation engine. And then that recommendation engine can hook into the API, the swipe.io API, and then maybe there's an interface option for you to change your recommendation engine. But
that wouldn't be the kind of on-device app, no? It must have some kind of bot running like a server.
That would be some kind of server, some kind of bot, yeah. But that operates outside of sort of the realm of the solid spec. Well, we could make it so that there's like, in the application, there's an interface for how we load the list of things. And that's just an abstract interface. Maybe it has like a load more method. Yeah, I like that. And then, at least for this hackathon, what I'll program is just the dumb one that's just going to do the fetch directly. But then you could also build the same interface, but this one goes to some third-party bot that's doing it all. And I can then swap it out later to do something that scales a bit better.
Yeah, but now also you could just like load as you scroll, no? Like load enough to have few screens, and then when
Yeah.
you scroll down, you just load some more. So
Yep.
you just on demand.
The difficulty with doing that without the bot thing, though, is that all of the posts are grouped not by time, but by user. So if I follow 10 different people, and maybe they've all uploaded, then I still need to load all 10 of them in order to know what order to show things in, if I'm going chronological order. Although I could make the interface be here's all of Elf Pavlik's posts, and here's all of Michiel's posts, and that would...
Well, I believe that those collections are ordered collection in activity stream, so they should guarantee you the order. So once you fetch the collection without like all the elements, you should be able to start loading them from the end of the collection.
Right. Yeah, which is so loading the actual elements themselves will be done on the fly, and we can keep things efficient with that. But we will need to load all the collections of all my follows as soon as I open the app.
By the way, I think Activity Stream had some paging, like LDP has paging, and Activity Stream, I believe, also has some paging. So hopefully you don't have to load like 5,000 post like elements outbox. You could like request the last page of the collection.
Good question. Yeah, actually, if that's the case, then that might make things a little bit more efficient. Yeah, does it have... Because I also kind of remember something about paging. We want activity pub vocab. So let's take a look at a collection. Total items, current, first, last items. A collections page.
Seems like the section for... Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So it is part of... So a collections page is part of a collection. So we will have a collection which has collections pages in it. Okay. I guess that works. So in my notes...
Is there a way to get the last page without going through all the pages?
Yeah, we could have an ordered collection, and we just push to the beginning of it. Because a collection itself, so it will be a collection of collections pages. So we've got a collection which has, it will be an ordered collection of collections pages, of ordered collections pages. So this has the first and last item, and when we push a new item to it, all we do is we load up the last item.
Yeah, that sounds doable.
Now, is that... I'm just trying to think of interoperability here, but what if there's an app that comes along and it's just like, hey, I'm following follows, or like I'm following Outbox, and what I'm expecting is an ordered collection in the Outbox, not an ordered collection of ordered collections pages. Or like,
You know what? Actually, I wouldn't worry now because I still need to like take a second look at the collections. I'm not sure if it's like collection of pages. I think the collection maybe it's still of elements, but there's like a way of paging over those elements. At least that's how we were doing that in the Hydra CG. I'm not sure about LDP, but like there must be a way to do it, but I don't see an example of a page collection.
so
It just shows first.
a collection page. The reason why I'm thinking that that's how it works is because it's got this part of property, and a part of property identifies the collections that the collection page belongs to. So it seems like a collection page goes into a collection. Maybe what I need to do is to build a truly resilient app that's going to follows. I need to make it follows. If it sees collections, then it will just go through those. If it sees a collections page, then it will click in. It will fetch each of those.
Yeah, I think I would start with just like regular ordered collections and then add pages as optimization.
As an
because
optimization,
I think there's more to it. Yeah, because you have all this like first, last, next, and I understand when you request a collection, and if it's paged, you would get the first page in a response right away. You would not get like a collection with list of all the pages. You would get just the first page and then the hypermedia to go next, previous, last, depending on where you at this moment. So I don't think the intention of activity stream collection is to return you list of all the pages. I think the pages you just navigate through the hypermedia controls that the first page of a collection that you would get by default would provide you. So the paging I would do like a separate optimization later.
Yep. Again, it's a 2-week hackathon, so yeah, we don't need to worry about paging. This is certainly enough to keep me busy during my free time. And then I got to build the UI for it too, to make the swipe feel real nice. I'm sure that there's probably a React Native TikTok view. But yeah, look at all these tutorials for building a TikTok clone. There's even React Native TikTok. How does this look? Yeah, at some point I need to find the UI. But the interesting part is not the UI, so I'm just going to use someone else's kind of TikTok scrolling view. Cool. I think that's a pretty good explanation of how that works. I've got this kind of clear in my mind on how this works. And the great thing about this is because our entry point is the web ID, we don't need to worry about any kind of arbitrary, like, oh, I've just created a folder for swipe.io. And we have to understand that it's in that folder. No, we start at the web ID. So that feels good. Right, finding people.
And I assume for now, like you assume everything it's like public read all the posts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Which is not going to let me score well in the this area, the use of access control. Well, actually, no. No, I will have a little bit of use of access control because I'm going to hide the follows. That's going to be private. So it'll help me score well in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Interoperability. I don't know if anyone else is building an app like this, but who knows? Maybe in the future they will. This probably is the first solid app that is using ActivityPub. Maybe Sarvin's app used it. Maybe Dokali had some ActivityPub things in it.
If you want to score the 15 points, I think you could actually try to show ActivityPub from Fediverse posts from there.
Oh,
in your app, so it would actually do the solid ones, but actually it would connect to the Fediverse.
Technically, it does say other solid applications in this thing, but maybe the judges will be merciful on me. Actually, I don't know if the judges are actually going to go through I think that they won't go through these numbers. They'll just be like, cool app, dude. Thanks for sending it in because you're disqualified. Yeah, okay. I think that sounds like a good plan. Thanks for jamming with me on this. I think that I will. It's 9 o'clock. I will keep working on this for a couple hours afterwards. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into ActivityPub and this shape and add all of the things that I need to add for everything, and then upload it back to the website. And then I might do some like low-level modeling for these activities that we discussed here, which can be done off camera. Not the most interesting thing to stream. I'd say the most interesting thing to stream is probably UI work, because you can see it visually happening. And then I might come back on and stream later once I have all that.
Makes sense. Especially that we expect the people to use existing shapes, so like fiddling with fine-tuning them maybe not the most interesting material.
Yeah.
Right. It was great. Thank you for organizing that, Jackson. I think it's a really cool way of having some kind of nice activity that people can follow, join. That's really great how you started it.
Yeah, and this will be up for anyone to watch later if they wanted to. If they were interested in hearing us waffle and talk about how things should work in ActivityPub. But hey, if you did watch all the way through, thank you. You are a truly amazing person, I guess.
YouTube says 4 people watching.
Yeah, 4 people watching. Pretty cool. One of them's my brother, who is playing Minecraft right now, and has commented a worm, I think, or a snake, something like that.
Hi, Jackson's brother.
Very good. Cool. All right, I'll end the stream here. Thanks, Alfava. You were a lot of help in helping me work through ActivityPub and how to structure this.
Thanks. My pleasure, and I guess see you the latest on Friday for the weekly UX DX.
See you Friday. All right.
Bye. Take care.